Have you ever thought about how to make your own Discord server in Node and Express.js? Well, this video is for you because we're going to cover AI integration, content moderation, Google search engine functionality built into the bot, MongoDB integration, and much, much more. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to get started, to get going with your own Discord server or bot. So here's a quick demo. We load the URL that authorizes us to Discord server, our Discord server, and then that joins us, and we're met with a welcome message. We can also chat with AI and we integrate AI into our bot, and then we can also integrate Google searches, such as a donkey here, as you'll see in a moment. So this is just a quick demo of what we'll be building. It's a lot more intricate, but this is just a short snippet. All right, guys, this is going to be a Discord bot. This is going to be the Node Express backend for the backend runtime environment, interacting with the API or the Discord front end. So we need to create that folder file structure here. So I'm going to go into my documents and I'm going to make directory mkdir Discord bot. And then we're going to cd into that directory. And then what we need to do is we need to basically create the server. Well, this would be the server, I guess, the server folder. So we need to create a couple folders: mkdir config, mkdir routes, mkdir middleware, mkdir schemas, and that should be good. And then touch server.js. And then we're going to create the package JSON for the server.js. So if I ls, I can see we have 4 folders here and the server.js file. So now we need to npm init and then just continue through all of these prompts. Everything should be good, should automatically detect the server.js as the entry point, as you can see right here. And there we go. We also need to create the commands folder, so mkdir commands. And then we're going to cd in commands. And then we need to create the touch AI chat JS, touch moderation JS, touch search JS, and touch, voice for the voice commands JS. So we should have something that looks like this. Now we need to install our dependencies. So I'm going to run npm install express for Express, because we're going to use that as backend runtime environment in Node.js. And then we're going to install body parser cores for the handling requests and allowing requests. Body parser will parse our JSON. And then we need nodemon so the server can restart on the fly. And what else do we need? We need Axios. We need config. We need helmet, MongoDB, moment, and that should be good for now. So our dependencies are now installed. I'm going to go into my text editor, Visual Studio Code, and we have the basic server that we're going to build here. So basically we have our packages, our dependencies that we import. So you need to import Express, call the Express as app, and then import cores. And then you have port 8000, which is what the server will run on. And then you have the app use Express JSON and cores configuration, so we can allow our API requests to have enough room to send data along to the back end. And then cores will configure basically those cores errors that you typically see. And then we have, that's just nothing. And then we have the app listen, which is actually listening on port 8000 here. And that's what runs our app. So that's everything that we need in our server. So if I go up here in the server directory in my terminal, I run the start script here in package.json is node server. I'm going to change that to nodemon server. So that way it reloads on the fly. And I'm going to run npm run start. And our server will start up. There we go. So just take a pause here if you need to copy this into your own configuration. We're going to now configure the config. It's basically an env variable, but for Node or Express. So default JSON. And then in this bracket, we're going to put Mongo URI. We're just gonna leave that empty for now. And that should be good for right now. Now we're gonna get into the fun stuff with Discord. So we need to install one more package, npm install discord.js. And then npm run start to start back the server again. And in our terminal here, we need to basically go back to the server, and we're going to do const and then deconstruct the client as well as the gateway intent bits, and then require that or import that from discord.js. And then we need to go down below the port, but above the app, well, we'll go down, and we're going to do const client equals new client, capital client, and then open those brackets. And then we're going to do intents, and then an array, gateway intent bits, guilds. And a guild is basically like a sub channel, a sub server within the server, or a subgroup within the group. And then gateway intent bits, guild messages. And if you have Visual Studio Code, it should suggest these things for you. And then we need guild gateway intent bits, message content. Now we need to use this client and do client once, and this is going to detect once it's ready, and then a callback, and then console log the client Discord is ready. You can put whatever you want in here, just a string that tells you once the client has connected and once it is ready. It'll log this statement, and we can do whatever logic we want in there. And then also we want to do client on message create, and this will fire off once someone sends a message. We're going to make it asynchronous because we're going to have some await code in there, and then do a callback, or a function, I mean. And then we're going to do if message author bot, then return. So if it's us, or I mean, if it's the bot, don't, who cares? And then we're going to do if message content starts with, and then we're going to do I chat. That's going to be our keyword for the Discord server. And then we want to do something. All right. So now we're going to get into the Discord website and get our server up and running, get things configured here. So yeah, that's how you set up the base configuration here. And then now we're going to go into Discord's website and configure that. Okay, I'm here in the Discord developer portal. You just need to Google Discord developer portal. Click that link, My Applications. And then I'm going to create a new application. I'm going to call this bot tutorial video. And that I guess that'll be it. So we're going to create this. Let's make sure we're not a robot. And it's going to create our server. Okay, now what we need to do is to go to OAuth 2, and then we need to add a redirect. This is what's going to redirect HTTP localhost 8000 and then auth Discord. This is the callback of the redirect once user authenticates. And we need to basically save that. And it's port 8000 because we're running on port 8000. So localhost 8000 auth Discord. And then we need to go down here and just click what we want to do. So we want to identify guilds, guilds join. Let's just click all of these. Who cares? In a real world application, I would recommend just selecting whatever you need. However, I'm just going to click all of these for the sake of making sure that I haven't clicked so I don't run into issues down the road. And then I'm going to click administrator. So that way it gets all of these admin level stuff. Like I said, in a real world application, you would not want to do this. You want to select whatever is applicable to whatever you're doing. However, I don't care in this instance. And then we need to save this, but it looks like it's already been saved, so that's all good. Okay, now we need to copy this client ID, and we need to go into our default JSON again, and then we're going to save this as Discord client ID. Save that, and then create another key value pair, Discord client secret. And that secret would actually be right here. Yes, do it. I need to enter my password. We're just basically regenerating this. And there's our secret. So that's going to be only shown one time. So make sure you copy that, save that somewhere safe, or just save it in your default JSON. And yeah. I'm going to delete these credentials or blur this out. Well, I'll just delete this application after the fact, so these credentials won't be useful. But because if I blur this out, you guys won't be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so now we're going to go into our server.js, and we're going to put an API request up here. So I'm just paste this. You can find this in the GitHub repo. All the finished code will be in the GitHub repository, so you don't need to worry about that. But what we're going to do is we're going to res send. So we're going to send the client an A tag saying join Discord server. And we need to basically do, we need to get the redirect URL. So config get redirect URI. And then we need to create that redirect URI in our default JSON. So I'm going to do redirect URI. And that redirect URI will be HTTP local host 8000. And it'll mimic the same thing that we did here. It'll mimic the redirect URI right here. So we can just copy and paste that actually. And then save that. And then back into the server. And then we need to do the client ID, config get. And that's going to basically fetch this client ID. So config get the client ID there. Redirect URI is done. So now if we hit that base endpoint, let's reload this. If we hit that our localhost 8000 on our computer, we'll be able to see that we get that tag saying join the Discord server. Localhost 8000 / config is not defined. We need to import config. Const config equals require config at the top here. So we need to import that package so that we can use it. Forgot to do that. Let's give that a reload, and it's working now. So I'm going to reload this, and there we go. Join Discord server. So this will join us to our Discord server. It'll prompt and complete the process. So remember my bot here is called bot tutorial video. And then we can authorize here. And that's going to hit that callback. Before we do that, we want to create a callback here. All right, sorry, not a callback, but a it'll hit us. It'll hit us back with a response app get, and then it's what was it? It was auth Discord, and then we're just going to do rec, and then response as a callback, and then we're just going to console log the rec body. Okay. So server's up and running. Let's go back and restart this once more. Join Discord server. And then we're going to authorize this. And there we go, rec body. So we authorized our server. It doesn't do anything because we don't send a response back, or we don't do anything with that. But you can see the rec body there and the rec body here. So it's authorized. That successfully went through. Okay, so for our auth Discord route, we need the information. It's actually rec query. So if I do rec query here, you can actually see it passes some information. Because rec body is for a post request. This is a GET request. I didn't realize that initially. So let's restart this. Localhost 8000. Join Discord server. We're going to authorize. And then in here, we'll see we get a code. We get the authorization code. So mind you, all of this will be in the GitHub, which will be linked in the description of the video. So I'm just pasting stuff here for the sake of time. So this will be in the Discord, in the GitHub repository in the description of this video. So just follow along through that. We're actually going to take off this code here. We're going to deconstruct that that code query. And what this does basically is it takes that code. We need to import Axios as well at the top here. Const Axios equals require Axios. Axios is an API library. It allows you to facilitates API requests. And so what we're doing here is we're taking that token and we're passing that token to this API request. So we need to change out these variables though, these env variables. And then the code is passed from the query code that we just saw here. This code right here is being utilized in this API request. And this API request is basically going to get the token, the access token here. And then what we do is pass that access token to get the user, to fetch that user. And then we take that ID of the user ID, and then we pass that to put, which will actually join the guild ID, which the guild ID would be, let's see here, the guild ID is the application ID right here. That's the guild ID. So we're going to have to add that to our configuration here too. So we're going to add guild Discord guild ID. And then we're going to copy that. And then we're going to do config get guild ID. This will all be auto-corrected. Like I'll have all this stuff done when you look in the Discord, in the GitHub repo, the repository. And then so we're passing that user ID to join the guild basically. That's going to join the guild. So the only thing missing is the bot token. So we're going to do config get bot Discord bot token. And we need to add that also to our env file. And then the way we get that is we go to the Discord developer portal in our application, then go to bot, and then reset token. And there's our token, our bot token. This allows us to interact with our bot. And that should be all the configuration we need here. So let's give that a save. We're going to make sure this is running, restart that to make sure the env variables are changed and active. And then so what we're going to do is see what this does here. Hopefully this will join our bot when we load this. Localhost 8000, join Discord server, authorize, and error during authentication, please check console. Okay guys, so I had to go through here and generate the OAuth2 redirect URL, or this redirect URL right here. And so basically you want to click bot, application commands in this one, and then use your Discord callback or redirect URL, and then click administrator for your bot. Guild install, copy this link, paste it, and bam, we join the server. So now if we go to, because we had to join this bot first, we had to join our bot to our server, and now if we go to localhost 8000, and we join this, we should be able to join if we're not joined already. Let's see what happens here. And there we go, we've joined the server. So now our logic runs properly. And we're already in this server, so it says we joined. So I went back to the code and I actually added this client login. This is very, very essential, this client login, because that's going to allow us to log in to our bot, and then this will run and this will run after we log in. But I added that login line right there, and I got cannot use or unused, use disallowed intents. And what that means is basically in the developer portal, we need to allow the proper things, the proper intents, I guess. We need to go down and we need to click on these privileged intents here, these privileged gateway intents, and save that information. All right, bot successfully updated. So now this should work, theoretically. There we go. The client Discord is ready, and that is right here. So now if we create a message with the iChat, then it'll log do something. And I'll show you how this logic, this listener works. So if we go to the bot, we go into here, and this is interacting with the bot, iChat, hey guys, that will run do something, because it starts with I chat. So that's our keyword, is the exclamation mark and then chat. And maybe that would be like a group chat message or something like that. Whatever we want to do with it, really. Now comes the fun stuff. So we're going to create a search engine. So if we type in I search and then pandas, then it'll search and give us the best result on pandas inside the bot itself as like a little assistant, essentially. So what we need to do here is we need to go if else if message content starts with I search, then we'll do whatever in here. Console log search. Now we need to create the query. So we need to do message content replace and then I search with nothing and then trim it. That's going to give us our actual query itself, like what we're looking for. And then we're going to say if no query is available, then we're just going to do return message reply. Please provide a search query term. So what this will do is actually have the bot reply. So I'll show you. I'll just show you. So if we do search, which is search and nothing, I search and then nothing, the bot will provide, say, please provide a search query term. So that's the bot replying within the actual server. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do a try catch. A try catch. It's going to try to do this logic. Otherwise, it'll catch the error and log it. So we're going to log that error if we get one. We probably will get one during development. And then we're going to do const search result equals await Google search. And then we're going to pass the query to that argument. So what we need to do now is we need to actually go let's go right here, do const Google search, and then a fat arrow function. We're using ES6 here, and then search query term. And then what we need to do in here is we need to actually we need to do const API key, and we're going to do config get, and then serpa key. And then we want to do const search URL equals template literal here, HTTPS. And we're going to bring in, we have to use Serpa, which is a Google, like a search engine kind of. We're going to have to use that, so that's what we're doing here. And we'll bring in the Serpa key in a second in the default config. And then so serpapi.com search JSON, and then query equals, and then encode URI component, and then our search query term. And now let's bring in that Serpa key first. So I'm going to add that, and then I'm going to go to Serpa's website. So I'll show you here. Serp API, Google Search API, right here. And so if we search for coffee, you can see we get these test results here. This is the SERP API. So I'm going to register and sign in and get my key. All right, so I have added my SERPA key to my default JSON, my key value pair, but I'm not going to go there because I don't want to have to blur it out and I don't want that being public. So what we need to do now is also append, we need to do and API underscore key equals, and then API key. And the next step here is to basically do the API request. So response equals await Axios get, and then search URL. We need to make this asynchronous as well, so that way it runs asynchronously. And then, so we have our API request here, and we're going to basically do const results equal response data organic. Well, we'll just response data, and then we'll console log that. So now when we search this, where is it? I search, it's going to run this Google search. So we're going to console log that there as well. So I'm going to let this save. That's reloaded. We're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to Discord. And then we're going to go back to And where's Discord? Here it is. So I search pandas. All right, so we don't get that error now because we have a value actually there. And as you can see here, we have a response saying SERPA API. Oh, we got 2 A's there. We need to remove one of those A's on the SERPA. Just SERP API. So let's go down. It's going to reload automatically on the fly. And we're just going to do that again. I search pandas. And we have a search, and then we have all of our results here. These are all of our results. So you can see we got our results right there, our console log, our search. And then what we want to take off here is actually the organic results. Let's see if we can find that. Organic results right there. So we want to pull this off and use these values. So I'm just going to copy that. And then we're going to go back up to that API, that Google Search API request, response data, organic results. And then we're going to basically go down here and say if results does not exist or results length equals 0, then return could not, we'll just say no search results found. No search results found. And I actually want to do a message reply with this, I think. Well, this is going to return the Google search here. So what we can do is we can do, let's see here. We can do just a message reply with whatever we respond or return from the search result. All right, so let's go back up to the Google search. So that's going to return no results found if no results are found. It's going to return that in the Discord bot. Otherwise, it'll return, we need to wire that up. Otherwise, return template literal star results 0. We're going to take the best result, basically, title, and then star, and then /n for a new line, I guess. And then we're going to do results 0 link, and then star, and then /n again for a new line. And then we're going to do results 0 snippet. And that's what we're going to return for our results. So let's give this a whirl, see what it does. Let's go scroll all the way down here. And we're going to do I search pandas. Pandas is a fast, powerful, flexible, and easy open use data analysis and manipulation tool. And then I can actually click this. Oh, we need to get rid of these last 2 asterisks, I believe. So let's try this again. I search pandas. And then there we go. It takes us to the actual website. So we have kind of like a search engine now. And it takes just the best results. So if I do I search Google, loading. And it takes us to Google in the UK. I don't know why it takes the UK version, but that's the first result that comes up. So, and it gives us information about it and some more information about it. So that's our search engine functionality built into our chatbot. Now we're going to work on the OpenAI integration within our chatbot. So you need to add the OpenAI API key into your default JSON. Name it whatever you want, the key value pair. Just make sure you refer to it within the server file, like SERPA API key or whatever, right? And make sure you refer to that config get as the proper key name. So I'm kind of at the top of my file here, and I'm just going to do const OpenAI API key equals config get, and then the API key value pair from my default JSON. And we need to create the OpenAI instance. So new open, what is it? OpenAI API new capital C configuration, and then we're going to pass that API key as the OpenAI API key. So now we have our OpenAI instance here, so we can use it in our essentially our helper function. So let's go up where we created that Google search, and we're going to do const OpenAI search. And then we're going to pass that the query, and we need to make it asynchronous. And then we're going to break that off. All right, so what we need to do is we need to do const response equals await OpenAI, and then create chat completion, and then open brackets, and then model GPT-4, and then messages, and then that needs to be a array with one value being role system, and then content, you are a helpful, this is the prompt to the OpenAI, a helpful AI assistant. All right, and then we need max tokens, and we'll do 100. So that's our response, and then we want to return this response because we want to send this response essentially to the console here in the Discord. So we want to return that response data choices. The reason why I know what to pull off is I have a reference over here, so I know what exact value is going to be pulled off. We're going to take that first choice value, message content, and that's going to allow us to take the first best item, or the first item in the array. First item in the array, the message content. So you might be asking, how do we actually activate this and use this? Well, what we need to do is similar to the Google search. We're going to use the iChat. The iChat will be the, let me see here. The iChat will be the AI assistant prompt, or the key value, the keyword to prompt the AI. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say const ChatGPT response equals await, and then search. What was it? It was ask. It was. Let's see. Search OpenAI search. OpenAI search. So we're going to do OpenAI search, and then we're going to pass it message content. Actually, we need to do the same principle here, the query, but we want to replace that with chat. And then we're going to pass that query to the function helper. And then we're going to message reply. So this is telling the bot basically reply into the message here, reply with the ChatGPT response. And what that's going to do is that's going to return, it's going to return this value, whatever the assistant tells us based on our context, our prompt. Our query needs to be actually passed into that. I forgot about that. So we need to add one more item to this array of objects, and it needs to be with the role of user and the content of query. And now our OpenAI assistant should return our results. Configuration, new configuration is not defined. Let's see here. Oh, we need to import the OpenAI configuration stuff. So const deconstruct that configuration, as well as OpenAI API from require OpenAI. And that OpenAI API needs to be actually, this should be OpenAI API, not OpenAI API key. There we go. So cannot find OpenAI, we need to install that. So go into terminal and install OpenAI from the npm node package manager dependencies, and then npm run start to restart our server. And configuration is not a constructor. So I did some Google searches, and we don't actually need this new configuration. We can just get rid of that. So make sure you get rid of the brackets that go with it as well. And then so now we just have new OpenAI API, and then the API key and the curly braces, and then our OpenAI API key from the default JSON. So let's give that a save and see what that does. And this should work now. OpenAI API. So it's just OpenAI actually. So we need to make one more change. This is just OpenAI. OpenAI. And there we go, that's working. So now our Discord bot should, if we do iChat, what is the weather today in Denver, Colorado? So we get OpenAI create chat completion is not a function. Let me give this a Google. So basically we need to change this create chat completion to OpenAI chat completions create. And that should do the trick. It's just we're using the latest ChatGPT library, the latest update of the OpenAI npm module. So it's just got a different syntax. So let's go and repeat this. Let's just copy and paste that for the sake of time. And do something is working. So this logic right here, that worked. I don't know if the OpenAI is working. Can I read property of choices? So we get this do something, but we need to basically go up to this OpenSearch API, and we need to just console log that res data. Let's just log that for now, because we're getting an error, so we need to see what the structure of that JSON is. Response data. And then we're going to give this, that's reloaded. Let's just do this once more. Mas. All right, there we go. And so that's why we have undefined for the response data. So I removed the response data. I think it might just be response from my Google search results. So let's give this a shot. I removed the response data, so it was like that. And I just removed that and removed that. Because this is not like an Axios request, it's just a response. So it's a different format. So that's ready, and let's give this a whirl. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm unable to provide real-time weather information. If you need to check it out in Denver. Okay, so our request is now working. Let's just ask it what time is do I chat? What time is it in London right now? The current time in London is 5:30 p.m. So we could also do iChat. How many people live in my city? Unable to provide. Okay, so iChat. How many people live in Denver? Around 730,000 people. So now we have a little AI assistant within our bot as well. So we're making some progress here. All right, guys, so this server file is getting a little bit messy. So what we're going to do is we're going to restructure this. So first thing, we're going to do the AI chat. So we're going to copy this OpenAI search and get rid of that. In the AI chat, we're going to paste that, and then module exports to export that module, and then OpenAI search. And then we need to bring in OpenAI because we're using OpenAI right here. And then we need to require OpenAI. And that should do the trick here, I think. And yeah, and the query is going to be passed when we call this function, so that should be good. So now we want to go up to our server, and we need to import this at the very top. So const require, and we're going to go out half a directory into commands, and then AI chat. iChat, what is the current date? And we get a completions, cannot read completions. So something we did here messed up. Oh, the OpenAI. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this OpenAI and pass this to our function as a second argument. We need to pass that OpenAI constructor to our value here. So we don't actually need to import OpenAI. We can get rid of that top line. Just get rid of that. And there we go. And this should work. I'm fairly certain this will work. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. And the current date is the 6th of 2001. That didn't seem very right. OpenAI. Oh, I see what happened here. So you can see right here, as of 2021, the Denver population is 730,000. This is as of 2021 because we're using the 3.5 turbo version. So if we do ChatGPT 4, maybe we'll get a different result. Let's see. Okay, so that's better. That's a better response. So we'll just keep it as ChatGPT 4 because the other version, 3.5, was back in 2021. Okay, now we need to take that search, the Google search here, and we need to do the same thing we did with OpenAI. So we're going to take that, put that in the search.js file. And let's see here, we need to import const config require config because we have that config right here. And we need to also bring in Axios from Axios. And that should be everything that we need here, it looks like. And then we got a module exports and then export that function. And that looks pretty good. I think that's everything that we need here. So let's give this a save, and then we need to go into the server. And at the very top, same principle, just import that from search. And let's give that a try to make sure that's still wired up properly. So that was I search cows. All right, so that's still working. That's good. That looks like it's operational and up to date. So that's good. All right, guys. So in the message create listener or function here, we're going to basically say if we're going to check to make sure there's no foul language. Otherwise, don't send the message and send a warning to the user. So if and what we want to do is banned words. Let's do some. This is going to be like an array item. Or we'll just do word. If the, let's see, if message, content, and then, let's break this off actually. Let's do this, message, content, and we'll bring this at the top. Const, content, message, to lowercase. So we're lowercasing whatever they're sending. And if the content message includes the word, some of the banned words, and we'll create the banned words now. This would be an array of bad words. Then we want to, what we want to do here is we want to message, reply, please do not use foul or wrong language. Try again. And what that will do is basically say if this banned words, if any of the words are equal to the content message to lowercase there, if the content message includes the word anywhere in the sentence, anywhere in the chat, includes one of those banned words, then don't let that user post and submit a warning, basically. And then what we'll do is afterwards we'll do a return statement so that, well, no, we'll just keep it like that because then it won't run this logic. But now we need a banned word list. So I'll just do some banned words for shits and giggles. So we'll do pineapple, frog. So we're going to see if that'll catch the pineapple or frog. So, hey there. That message runs pineapple. Pineapple, see? Do not use foul language. Try again. That post, however, the bot warns them about their foul language. Or if I do, what was the other one? Frog. Frog. Please do not use foul language. Now, we want to actually remove that message from the chat here, too. So all we got to do, really, to delete that message is just create a bracket here, a code function, or a code block here. And then we're going to do that message reply last. And then we're going to do, let's see, await message delete. And that's going to delete. And that's going to delete that message and then send that response, hopefully. So let's see here. I just realized we also need to change the message from message reply because this message will be deleted. So obviously we can't reply to it. So it needs to be message channel send. Because we're deleting that message immediately, right? So we can't respond to that. So let's try this. Pineapple. All right, so it deletes the message. No error. And then let's try, what was the other one? Frog. Do not use foul language. And we're getting 3 of these because it's warned us many times. So I'll show you. So, hi, how are you? So if we start a new message, it'll have a new one, pineapple, and there'll just be 1 here, see? But if you try the same language over and over again, it does this. All right, guys. So for one final touch, I'm going to show you, I'll wrap this video up. It's getting kind of long. I'm going to show you how to integrate MongoDB into your server here. So we're going to configure a new file here called MongoUtil.js. And this is going to be a our Mongo connection string, essentially. And we're going to integrate MongoDB so when a user joins the Discord, it saves their user in the database and the MongoDB collection. And then we're going to have it where they set a style to the OpenAI format or the OpenAI assistant. So like serious, concise, playful, etc. And that'll give you guys an understanding of how to build your application or your bot out further with MongoDB connected and saving users. For the sake of time, I'm just going to paste this in. We'll need to install Mongoose and MongoDB, but I'm just going to paste this in. This references our Mongo URI and our default JSON. You'll be able to find this, like I said, in the GitHub. You can find all this code that I'm just pasting. I just want to keep this video kind of concise, and this is kind of like not really relevant to the bot. So I'm going to paste this in here. I'm going to go into my server, and we're going to go to the very top here. I'm going to uncomment that. This will be already uncommented in your code. And then we're going to connect our database with the connection. Where did it go? We got to create that. So we're going to do right above the OpenAI API key, we're going to do connection open. And this will open our MongoDB connection. So I'm going to have to add that connection string here. I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to go to MongoDB. And what we need to do is go on the top left here and then just new project. And I'm going to call mine test project 111. I don't really care because I'm going to delete this afterwards. So create project. And then what we're going to want to do is create a cluster. I'm going to name mine. I do the free plan just for, or well, I guess whatever plan you want, but I do free. It doesn't make much of a difference. Select AWS and whatever region is closest to you. I'm kind of in the middle of the country in Denver, so I'm just going to keep that one the same. And we're going to go here and create the deployment. So this is my password and my username. So I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to create the database user and choose a connection string. I'm going to go to drivers. It's provisioning, so we got to wait for this provision before we can actually add that connection string. So I have my connection string right here, and I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go into my code, and in the Mongo URI, I'm just going to paste that. And that's already got my password and my handle here, so we're totally good to go. You don't actually need that. It'll automatically populate that. And so now we should be good to go. If we look here, we can see we don't have Mongoose. So we need to install npm I, Mongoose, and MongoDB. And then when we start this back up, we'll see that the connection has been established. So we'll see all of the MongoDB stuff. They're right there. This is the MongoDB stuff. So we got a successful connection. All right, guys. So now we're going to detect when a new member joins the guild and save them in MongoDB. So in our client here for the Discord, we need to add another gateway intent bits, and that's guild members. So that way we can detect when a member joins. And then what we need to do is right under the ready, we need to do client on guild member add, and then a callback with the member name. Let's make this asynchronous as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say try catch. Let's catch that error. Let's log that error if we get one. And in this try, we're going to do const existing user equals await collection find one. And then it's going to be the Discord ID, and then member ID. Member ID coming from member right here. So if existing member is true, then return. Don't do anything. And then if not, then what we want to do is we want to, well, if existing user returns, that's fine. Then otherwise, what we want to do is we want to save that user. So const new user equals new user. This is a schema that we're going to create here in a moment. And then Discord ID, and that's going to be member ID. And then we need username, member, username. That's targeting the user object from member, and then the username. And that's really, I guess, all we need for right now. Well, let's do discriminator. Let me copy that. Hard to spell. Member. I have a reference sheet that I'm using from a previous project. Kind of helps a bit. Discriminator. And that's basically the ID, essentially. And then we're going to do new user, save, error, result. If the error exists, then console log the error. Else, console log the result. And there we go. We need to create this collection value though. So right above that, we need to do collection, and then it's going to be connection from the connection right here. Connection, DB, and then mine's named DB. Whatever you named it in when you saved it in MongoDB, like when you're creating MongoDB, whatever you saved your database as, you can find it right here. Mine's DB. So DB, and then collection, excuse me, and we'll call this users. This will be users because that's what we're going to save our, when we create our user schema, it's going to be called users. So now let's create our schema. So let's go up here, let's save that. And let's go ahead and in the schemas folder, let's just create a new folder called auth. And then in that, we're going to say save new user. So now that we're in the schema, Mongoose, we need to bring in Mongoose. And Mongoose is a object data modeling library from MongoDB. It basically allows us to save users in plain simple terms. But like I said, it's a object data modeling library. Do I know what that means? Not really. I know the basics about it, but Mongoose allows us to save our schemas and save our information the way we want to. Basically what we need to do here is create our schema, right? So we need to do const schema equals mongoose schema, but it's a capital S actually, schema. But what we can do is actually deconstruct this, ES6, we can just do mongoose schema and deconstruct that from mongoose. And then what we can do is we can do user schema equals new schema and then curly brackets. And then now what we need to do is basically copy and paste this logic right here. And those are all going to be IDs, strings, type of strings. So just paste those in there, get rid of that, and then do type string, and then just copy and paste that for each one of those. Because the username is a type of string as well. And disseminator, I believe, is an ID. It might be a numerical value. I think it is a numerical value. So we'll use type of number for disseminator because I don't think it's a string. And then what we need to do here is we need to we basically need to do module exports because we want to export our model here. So we're going to just call it user and then one more equal sign and then mongoose model and then just save it as user and then pass the second argument as user schema. And this will allow us to basically pass our schema here as the user, which will save in the MongoDB as users. And then we have our user object here that we can actually use in our other file in our server here. So we need to import that now. So we're going to go at the top here, const user equals require. Let's see, out one layer schemas, auth, and save new user. So we shouldn't get any errors now. Let's see. Yeah, no errors. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we're going to see if this will save the new registered user in the Discord channel. So this is a new user that I've just created. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to localhost. I'm going to join the Discord server. It's going to make me authorize. And we'll see if that saves. Model prototype save no longer accepts a callback. So it's just save. So this logic right here is just save. They must have changed that in a recent release. But that did operate as we wanted it to. So let's check the database. And no results. So let's try to join this again. Let's just try this once more. And hopefully we get a save. All right. So we have joined the server. We're back in the server here. And let's check the logs. And we got successful logs. Nothing there. Refresh. And we should have our saved user. Bam. There's our saved user. So that's how you basically save your user to MongoDB to basically allow you need a MongoDB or some sort of SQL or NoSQL database to manage your Discord server ideally, and that's how you connect it basically. So in this video, we've covered the message create, the guild member add, and saving that user to the database. We've configured the client and logged in. We've created our client here. And then also we have the callback and the authentication point to join the server here. So we've covered a vast amount of material as well as moderation, AI chat integration, and Google search functionality within our Discord bot. So I think we've done a pretty good job here at giving you a foundation on how to use a Discord bot and whatnot. I hope this was helpful, and yeah, I just hope you gained something from this, and I hope I was of assistance or of help to get you off the ground and get you going on this Discord server logic. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future content. Thanks. Subscribe.